Braves sweep the Twins over the weekend. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network Morning Update.
Get Clean Car happy all season long at Tidal Wave with exclusive membership discounts, giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for more information.
The Braves enter the weekend without back-to-back wins on the season, but that changed in a 3-game sweep over the Minnesota Twins at Truist Park. Sunday was a great day for Grant Holmes. He goes 5 2/3, gives up 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, 6 of which were looking. 3 home runs for the Braves as well. Matt Olson, Drake Baldwin, and Marcell Ozuna go deep. The Braves will look to keep the winning streak going against the Cardinals. 3-game set coming your way Monday night tonight for leadoff show at 6 p.m. First pitch against the Cardinals at 7:15. We got a good pitching matchup too. Spencer Schwellenbach going for the Braves. Eric Fetty going for the Twins. First pitch at 7:15 with Joe and Ben from Truist Park. This is the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by CB&S Bank. Bank anywhere, at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are post-game thoughts from Alabama baseball head coach Rob Vaughn following Saturday's win in Baton Rouge against LSU.
Good win. It was a good win. Like, obviously, Zane Adams was outstanding, kind of getting back going. I thought he was kind of still feeling for his stuff a little bit in the first, but really set it up and was outstanding after that and settled in. It was great. I thought our bullpen was just tough. Hagen Banks is outstanding. We make a routine play. He's probably out of there with no runs, but just settled in and battled. And Heiberger, huge at bat against Curiel to get the double play. And then Osmer's just tough as nails, man. It's hard to get the last 3 outs in this place. And Carson Osmer was just simply outstanding.
I'll have more in a moment.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance, live at 6 p.m. Central at Baumhower's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. This will be our final Hey Coach show in Tuscaloosa this season. Next week, we'll have the show on the road at Baumhower's in Foley, Alabama. Hey Coach is available to listen to across the radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as a video stream on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by CB&S Bank. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and you.
The lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. Listening to another station I don't understand, but nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. They go up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Somebody respond.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a special Reaction Monday edition of the Thom Abraham Show. I am your host, Thom Abraham, for basically just this first segment of the show. We are on location out at the beautiful Cherokee Ridge Club, because 97.7 ESPN, the Zone's a charity classic, golf classic brought to you by Eagle Insulation is underway as we speak, benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This is our third annual event, a great full field of golfers that are out on the course. And for those of you listening at WCDT, ESPN Winchester, I'll just tell you this. I pulled out of there this morning. It takes an hour and 15 minutes, headed dead south to get to Cherokee Ridge. It is spectacular down here. And even for those of you that are listening in that part of the country and our listenership, this is an easy run for you to get down there. We do welcome those of you that are watching on X and Facebook and on YouTube, on WZZN TV. Check that out if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. You're going to want to check it out. The phone lines will be open at 256-576-4977. The text window is open. I'll see them. The guys won't see them, though, and they'll be taking care of a lot of the business here for me today, of course, and I appreciate that. As about 12, 13 holes are in the hopper so far. Now, joining me out here on location, typically on the other side of the glass, has been on the other side of the glass all morning, and then jetted out here. It is the one and the only Joe Hunk. And Joe, I don't know if you have been out here to Cherokee Ridge before. I know you play a little golf in the past, but I'll tell you what a gorgeous setting for a tournament like this. And if you get a chance, you jump on a cart, just kind of ride around a little bit and see some of these holes. It is just a beautiful, beautiful track.
Yeah, this is my first time out here. John actually was walking me around right before the show started and was kind of showing me everything about it. And he was like, this place is amazing. He goes, it's not even in, it's like top shop shape that it normally is.
You know what I mean? It's still April, yeah.
So it was, I was like, all right, well, this still looks better than 90% of the other courses that I've probably ever played on my life. So, I mean, that looks absolutely fantastic. And so, yeah, no, you were talking about the amount of holes that we've seen. I was driving in, all the golf carts going right now in the tournament, everybody getting going, the championship belts that are already over there on the other side of the room as well. So everybody kind of getting ready for whenever we get done with everybody on their back nine.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. And guys have been making the turn out there. We just think, Bubby's is going to be here any minute now. You guys will be able to eat here as well with Bubby's Diner supplying the food here for the tournament. Of course, we had Chick-fil-A this morning with the biscuits out here. You were in there early this morning. Everybody's kind of chipping in, doing different things and so on. But, you were in there at dark 30, and now we dragged Brian in there. And now you're doing my show, and you're doing our show, and you did your own show with John as well. So it's kind of like an all hands on deck kind of thing. But
it was weird for me driving in because I drove down 431 and I'm like, there's actually no traffic.
It's a lot quicker with no people, isn't it?
There was no traffic.
Isn't it a pretty drive down to here, though? I mean, coming down to Sound, going over the river, and then it's just is beautiful.
Right when you pass Hobbs Island, it's like it's an automatic change. Right when you pass Hobbs Island Road and you start going up the hill and you get in, like it's definitely a different life whenever you're getting here to Arab, and that's where I absolutely love it as we're driving.
I'm glad I didn't bring my clubs, because if I brought my clubs, I'd be way too tempted to go out there and play, and I just want to go out there and just start playing and just insert myself on some team or something like that. Now, for me, these things here, I call them hit and giggles. These scrambles, this is a problem for me because I can't hit it out of my shadow anymore. Remember, when I played college golf, there was a time I could play a little bit of golf, but I can't hit it out of my shadow anymore. And you get out on these holes and you're in a scramble, and there's always some young buck that's going to be pounding it 290 yards, 310 yards. And it's like, why am I bothering even driving? All I need to do is bring like a 7-iron, a wedge, and a putter. You know what I mean? Just chip and putt, and don't even bother doing anything else. But
well, when I do my first drive, especially my first drive of a tournament like this, there's definitely fireworks, or at least it sounds like it coming from my back as I swing for the first time because of all the popping that is coming into it. But I will love this, and I think that all through the tournaments that I've ever played, periodically, depending on the drive, what makes me mad is whenever I'll have a good drive and then that young buck you're talking about right beside me has one that's like 3 feet in front of mine. They're like, we'll go with his. I'm like, come on, just give me one. Okay,
Yeah.
like I'm sorry if I was a yard short from where he was. It's the same shot. Just at least use my ball for once.
Well, if you're in one of them real serious scrambles, one of them ones where it's you're qualifying to go play the national scramble championship or whatever. They have this rule. Yeah, they have these scramble tournaments that are much more serious than what we're doing out here. They don't have mulligans. You can't buy mulligans and things like that. I mean, they're like real tournaments. But in those events, each player you have to use the drive of each player 3 times.
Oh.
So that makes it a little bit different. So that brings the whole team, and you have to use everybody. And you try to get, usually what they do is they get an A, a B, a C, and a D player. So in other words, you get a single-digit handicap, a 10 to 15, a 15 to 20, and a 20-plus handicap player. That's how those things work out. And then this way, so that D player on the group, that 22 handicap guy, you just hope that he knocks it on the green on a par 3, and you got it. And you might have somebody else closer, and you're like, you know what?
Let's
we're going to make par anyway. We're going to go ahead and use his.
Yeah. Let's use that one right there, and that counts as his one. We know that that we're only 2 down from what we need to with him.
Yeah. So
now I know why my buddies made me stay on the cart.
Now I know the reason why.
Run to go get drinks and come back. And
that's the E player. Brian would be the E player.
Yeah, I gotta hang the placard on the cart. Yeah,
I bet you that pool for the 22-plus guy is a lot deeper than that pool for the 2+ guy.
Yeah,
no wonder I don't get invited places.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'll tell you. But and this is going to be interesting too, because you guys, where you're broadcasting from, right here in the clubhouse, is a tremendous location. Notice we have the scoreboard. You've been seeing this on the video. We have the scoreboard behind us, and we didn't. I should have, in the introduction, at the beginning, or before I sent everybody out, I should have encouraged everybody to hit the QR code and use the scoreboard. I didn't, because I didn't even know about it. And so there's a QR code up here, and apparently if you use that on your phone, it automatically puts you in the tournament. And then all you have to have is one person after each hole. One person would just, on their phone, just put in their score, and then the scores go automatically. But I will say this: we have 19 teams today. 13 of our 19 teams are using the QR code, so you can look at who's in first.
Team 19.
Team 1 is 13 under. That's the North Alabama Mortgage team of Richard Klein, Dan McGruff, Richard Frazier, and Bo Klein. They are right now leading this thing. However, we don't know if one of the 6 teams that didn't use the system are going to come in. Usually with these things, whoever has a pencil sharpener and eraser on their pencil are the one that wins the tournament.
They'll come in with a minus 35, and you're trying to figure out how that's possible.
The guy that turns the card in last, the one who looked at the board and checks everybody on, the next thing you know, if they got an eraser on their pencil, they're in trouble.
If it's a little bit shorter than the rest because they've used it a little bit more. Yeah, that's what that is. But
your secret is to pick up more than one scorecard when you leave the clubhouse.
Oh yeah. There's always a possibility of some shenanigans going on.
The size 12 wedge.
Exactly. That could happen. The old foot wedge. We have belts for first and second place teams, which are pretty cool. Yes. Take a look at those over there. They have belts. We need to thank Owen Home Appliance Center, which supplied us with a pizza oven. Somebody's going to win a $400 pizza oven in the raffle afterwards. That's right there sitting on the table across the way. There is a golf bag, a Michelob Ultra golf bag from our friends at Turner Beverage, so we want to thank them for that as well. Cherokee Ridge. Let me tell you something. I play in a lot of these charity deals and been involved in a lot of these charity deals. Nowhere are you playing for a membership at the club for an entire year. Now, when you came in, you saw the pool.
Yep.
You saw the tennis courts. And, of course, you see the beautiful golf course. It's a full membership for 1 year for each player on the winning team. It's a $4,000 value.
It's not bad at all.
Oh, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. Of course, it's all brought to you today by Eagle Insulation. We also want to thank Woody Anderson Ford and SportsMed and Valley Equipment and North Alabama Mortgage, the Liosi Group, McCurry Motors, Jacob Title, Fleming Roofing, Neighbors Wealth Management, Higher Echelon, Bryant Bank, UAH Samples, Bill Penny Toyota, all coming out to play here today in the event. So we're very, very happy to have all of those people involved. Now, here's the deal. In the second hour of my show, your show, this show, In the second hour of this show, this room is going to fill up with all of the players. So you're going to have that atmosphere. You guys will be doing the show. I'll be over there doing the awards and all that other kind of stuff. The food will be here and everything. So that'll be kind of a real interesting dynamic to it, because all of a sudden this room will come alive with players in the second hour. So you guys got about an hour of peace and quiet, and then it's going to get a little bit crazy. Now, West Neighbors just came in with Steve Moulton. They were out there driving they had to drive golf cart, because they're to drive. So they were driving. So I think Steve was driving, because the last time Wes drove, he ended up having to have surgery or something. He broke his neck, or we don't let him drive anything. He's liable to drive right into the pond or something like that. But they went out and made the rounds out on the golf course. And, I'm sure there was a lot of people out there probably trying to get their picture made with Wes, things like that.
They left Aaron talking ball.
Yeah. Well,
they left here and then. It's been a minute. They just got back.
And speaking of talking ball, Tyson is out there somewhere. He's playing with some guys. He's playing with some UAH guys. He's not on the UAH team, however, but he is playing with some UAH guys out there today. There is a UAH team as well, a separate team of UAH folks as well. So that's kind of cool as well. So we appreciate them coming out and doing their thing as well. And it was all hands on deck. This morning I got here at 7:06, 7:07. Merrill Bowles from our office was here already. John was here already. Chris Pataccia was here already. Steve Moulton was here already. Guys were already all here and setting things up. So, really it's really kind of a cool thing. And again, it's all about Make-A-Wish Foundation, and being able to support the Make-A-Wish Foundation thing. And, and that's something that I know I've been involved with for a number of years, and is a great, cause as well.
No, it's absolutely tremendous. I used to work right above a Make-A-Wish Foundation, and seeing everything that people don't realize, that this is all local. Every single Make-A-Wish, every single amount of money that they bring in all goes towards local Make-A-Wishes. It's not like, hey, you're putting money into it here and it's somebody in Oregon it's going to be going out there. So every single one that you donate to and help, like in the situation we are, all of those are going to be for kids here in the Tennessee Valley that are going to have some of their wishes fulfilled.
Right. Very, very cool stuff. Now, of course, in the world of sports, a lot going on right now. Over the weekend, the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs both got started over this past weekend, and the Braves swept the series. Last week I was imploring the Braves in their 6-game home series to win 4 out of the 6 games.
Yep.
Well, they went out and swept the Twins in the first series. Now they've got the Cardinals coming in for 3. Excellent chance there. They take 2 out of 3. They can win 5 out of 6 before they head out west as well. So it can straighten up in a hurry. The only problem, and again, you don't look at the standings or anything like that at this particular point in time, but at the same time that the Braves got hot, the Mets have gotten hot. And so the Mets now at 15-7, and they have, they're 9-1 at home, and they've won 4 straight, while the Braves won 3 straight. The Mets won 4 straight. So the funny thing is, the ironic thing is, the Braves went from 6 games out to 6.5 games out by sweeping the Twins.
Well, it just goes into that rain delay that rain out that they had down in Tampa, because they only played 2 of those 3 games. And it's funny that you mentioned the Mets going on a 4-game winning streak that they're on. The reason they're on the 4-game winning streak is because they just won all 4 games against the Cardinals. So it was like, so this is the exact team that the Braves are about to go up against. They just got finished with that series against the Mets. So you have a team that is not playing very well. They're coming into your place, and you have an opportunity to continue to build that before you go back out to the West. You get an easier series with the Rockies. Diamondbacks a little bit different. They're a very unique organization with the way that they've been playing. They're still not sexy, but they have a lot of great talent. So that series is going to be a lot harder, but you have an opportunity to get a lot of ground back if you just continue to beat the teams you're supposed to.
Yeah, and then you've got, on the flip side of that series was the Twins, and the Twins are a mess right now. They're trying to, the owner's trying to sell the team, and no one is going to their games. I mean, they had a crowd of 8,000 or 9,000. It looks like Oakland the other day. It was the smallest crowd in the history of Target Field since they built the new stadium in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So right now the Twins are just an absolute grease fire. And, so they're going in the opposite direction. I spent a lot of time over the weekend watching the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. It's an interesting dynamic seeing them play in a spring training facility,
It's
basically.
so odd.
It's so odd. And they took out the entire infield dirt and changed it to, it had like a red clay type of dirt. And when the Rays went in there, they changed it to be the same kind of dirt that they have in their domed stadium, which is that kind of a granular, almost like little pebble type of stuff. They put that in there. And then the foul poles are real short because it's a single A facility. They don't have an upper deck and everything. So the foul poles are real short. There was a home run by Aaron Judge that went into the trees. I mean, out of the stadium and into the trees. It was clearly fair, but they called it foul and they had no way of really reviewing it. I mean, there was all kinds of goofy things going on there. And then you had Max Fried with a no-hitter. In the 8th inning. He starts the 8th inning with a no-hitter, and by the middle of the 8th inning, the no-hitter is gone, and he hasn't given up a hit yet.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the again, he still gives up a hit eventually.
He ends up giving up a hit, thank goodness.
The idea of that not being an error to me was extremely strange because it was a routine play. First baseman was right in front of it. It went right up his arm. There was no awkward bounce. There was nothing like that. It was kind of a unique situation that I don't understand the reason why it was going to be called a hit on that, because any press box I've ever been in would have automatically said it was an error, regardless as if it was Rays players or Rays personnel that were doing the scorecard, or if it were Yankees, which at that stadium you have no idea which one it is because it's kind of connected to both.
They were all Yankee fans too. I mean, the place was all Yankee fans. There was no doubt about it. Here's the thing too. Even if you're going to make a scoring change like that, you got to read the room. You can't do that during the no-hitter. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, okay. And it was 3 innings ago. So it was 3 innings later, basically, that the 2.5 innings later that the score guy changes it. And all they did was very subtly change the 0 hits to 1 hit on the scoreboard. There was no announcement made in the press box. Nobody announced anything that there's been a scoring change. I'm saying at that point, it's 2.5 innings later. You got to let that no-hitter ride. Then if he gives up a hit, then you can go back and say, well, actually, now it's 2 hits because that one we reversed it to a hit. But it was I'm not going to say it was a routine play. Goldschmidt was pretty far over into the hole on that play, but I think they probably have a decent chance of getting him there.
Well, and I think that also with it, because we've got it kind of on replay right now going on my laptop. Who I don't know who was playing. Was it Chaz Chisholm that was playing second base?
Yeah.
Now
he doesn't even go to first.
Well, see, here's the problem with it. He doesn't go to first, but also if you back it up and look again, I don't think Max Fried beats the runner to first base.
Well, that's what the scorer said. The scorer said this was going to be a single because Max Fried's not going to beat the base runner to first. But secondly, look where Goldschmidt is. You froze it.
Yeah,
that's a routine play for the second baseman. Goldschmidt's a little too far towards second, I think. I think at that point in time, Goldschmidt needs to be going to first.
Because he only moved 2 feet. I mean, it was only like a foot to the right or left. I could see now looking at it from the standpoint of, even if Goldschmidt was going to make the play, would Max Fried have beat the runner to it? No, because this was okay. So here's another part of this: is it's Simpson that was coming to that was hitting at that point in time. Simpson is the player that the Rays just brought up from the minor leagues. He went through Montgomery, he went through Durham, and he also stole like 104 bases in his time that he's been in the minor leagues. Fast. So that's why he's probably looking at it from that standpoint of Max Fried and him are all basically the same distance away from first base, and so he's going to say that he was not going to beat him there, and that's the reason why it was going to be a hit. Looking at it from that standpoint, breaking it down multiple times now, I can understand it, but I think that you have got to make that decision right there, because a lot of times whenever I'm in a press box and what'll happen is the official scorer will look at you and go, okay, what do you think about that? And the conversation happens instantaneously, not in the 8th inning where you go, yeah, let's go ahead and change that. That's a hit. That definitely was a hit on that. No, you make that decision, and it may take you a few minutes. It may take you through the next batter, but you finally say yes or no on that.
And of course, in other stories in college football, Nico Iamaleavin is officially a UCLA Bruin now for less money, reportedly, than what he had at Tennessee. The weird part of that whole story to me is the TCU quarterback turning down $1 million more to go to Knoxville. I thought that was kind of interesting. And they're getting to the point where they're kind of looking around. Hey, you got a guy? You got a guy? You got a guy? They're not going to end up. I'm telling you what, right now, I don't think Tennessee's going to end up with a dude unless they get Jaden Rashada in there. And Rashada has been nothing. He has been bouncing around all over the country. He's out there as a free agent right now, basically. But I don't think at the end of the day, Tennessee's going to have to make it work with the two guys they got.
Well, and George McIntyre is a really good quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
When he came from Brentwood, I think that this was kind of always the thought, is that he was going to be the one that would eventually replace Nico whenever Nico went to the NFL, but they also thought they were going to have an extra year with him. I think that with this happening as early as it did with him coming in, that obviously when we've talked to Tennessee people, they will say that I don't believe that he's going to be the starter day one, because he still needs to learn the system a little bit more. And I think that this kind of went in more of a place of thinking that if it's not going to be him, then most likely you're going to go with Merklinger. But I think that the George McIntyre part, if he is going to be the future of Tennessee, if
I
it's
say
neck
go
and
with
neck,
him. I don't even bother with Merklinger. I mean, to me, if Merklinger is not a guy that you think is your long-term future, I say you go with McIntyre and see what he can do and how he can develop, because they got a stud quarterback coming in the next class.
Oh, they have it like in every single class they're getting a 5-star guy.
Well, they got the number one. Right now, they have Faison Brandon, the kid out of Grimsley in North Carolina, is 6'3.5", 197-pound quarterback coming in the class of 2026, and he is the number one recruit in the country. Mm-hmm. Not number one quarterback, not number one pro style quarterback. He is the number one recruit in the entire country. Is the Brandon kid. So to me, I'm going with McIntyre, see what McIntyre does for you. And then, if McIntyre has a good year under his belt, then he gets a second year. Brandon ends up backing him up. I think the odd man out would end up being Mecklinger, unless McIntyre is a problem. But I think you got to go, with the guy that gives you the most upside. And I'm not sure that it's, Mecklinger.
Well, and I think that it also comes down to how many RPOs are you wanting to run with McIntyre? What kind of offense are you thinking about with this? Are you going to change it at all? Because as good and as fast as Nico was, they weren't really using him as for a running threat. It was more about getting the football out of your hands and also handing the football off as much as he normally wants to. So are you going to have this as an offense where if it's an RPO offense, then McIntyre then is going to have multiple options to make the decision on the fly, which opens up your playbook a little bit more. If it's all designed stuff where he doesn't have the ability to make the change, then you may have to go with somebody that knows the playbook a little bit deeper than what McIntyre does. But at that point in time now, I just want to know who's going to be able to get the football to the receivers even quicker, because it's not like you have two bad quarterbacks behind you. You just don't have a Nico. And many people have said, even earlier on with us, with Ryan Sylvia, when we were talking to him, was that a lot of Tennessee people have to remember that it was not Nico that helped them get to the college football playoff. He was a cog, but he wasn't even the biggest cog that helped him.
Right. That's exactly right. He had the worst numbers of any quarterback under Josh Heupel since Heupel's been there. In fact, he's had the worst numbers of any quarterback under Heupel when Heupel was at UCF. I mean, he just was not a dynamic. I think he had 19 touchdown passes, 7 or 8 interceptions, and like 2,800 yards, something like that. That was very Josh Heupel-like, what they got out of him. All right, we're going to get a break in here. I'm Gonzo, and jumping in will be Baby Abe along with Joe and the Temple of Doom back in studio, so they will take you the rest of the way.
Okay, Tom, before you go, I got a question.
Yeah. Yes.
And this came up at last year's golf tournament.
Okay.
Do you still have your undershirt?
Do I still have my undershirt? Oh, gosh, she went old school.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. How did you remember that? Did you guys talk about that on your show?
I got it.
No,
this morning?
No.
How did you remember that?
I
love your t-shirt.
It was a great story in staff meeting the following day.
Could you remember that? No. I should have stopped in, and I almost stopped at that Circle K on my way.
And I think about that story every time I go through that part of town.
I almost stopped at that Circle K again because I was feeling it a little bit.
Right.
And I like, do I need to stop at this Circle K? And
they sell shirts there, Tom.
Well, it was a under. Those of you that are watching on WZZ, and where's the camera? Oh,
yeah.
Those of you are watching on WZZ, it was this here. I generally wear an undershirt under my thing, and I have. See, I'm rocking.
Oh, you're logoed out, and you should.
I'm logoed up here. I got the vest on with the 97.7. I got the Thom Abraham Show logo working here on the sleeve. I'm logoed out, man. I mean,
Right.
I'm like NASCAR over here. But the T-shirt was a Phoenix Boats T-shirt, by the way. Speaking of logos, but that didn't make it back with me. No.
It was not when you came.
I'm fully clothed today.
Fantastic.
I did not lose any articles of clothing on the way. Joe doesn't even know what we're talking about.
No,
Joe doesn't know the story. I got to tell Joe the story during the break.
Yeah.
Oh heavens.
I'll have to tell him the story during the break.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Brian, for bringing up that horrific memory.
Glad
I appreciate that. It's a good job by you.
I'm here to serve. I serve at your pleasure.
All right, we'll grab a break here, and the boys will take you the rest of the way. It's going to get a little noisy in this room, but that's okay. That's atmosphere.
It's not like I'm the most quiet person in the world.
Well, it's like doing a show at a restaurant. You know what I mean? It'll be the same like doing a show at a restaurant. All right, we'll get a break in here. We'll come back with more right after this. It's the Thom Abraham Show.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Let's go throw out some good music. Oh, I know he does that.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to throw out some good music on here. So we
You
are
can't have
at
strong
Cherokee
tournament
Roots.
and not play Kenny Loggins. Come on.
It's like mandatory. It's like out of everything else, you can play any song you want. That one is one that is mandatory that you must play. Absolutely. But
Be the ball.
That's why we're out here at
Be the
Cherokee
ball.
Ridge. And John, what all is happening out here for us is a lot of people are starting to get closer and closer, wrapping up on the golf course. As I see behind us, we've got a few teams that are getting a little bit closer and closer that are already through 14 right now. So they've only got about 3 holes to go.
Look at Keith's team, man. He out there for 2 seconds, and I didn't know what to expect from Keith, but he ended up hitting a striper straight down the middle, and he was like clutch shot with the pressure going on, and I said, all right, and he's enjoying his time for sure. So, yeah, we got a lot of teams going on right now. It's still getting a little deep in this thing, and Thom was talking. He was like, oh, it's going to get loud in here. Thom didn't know what the Havoc Hour was all about.
No, that was a little bit. Heck, not only were you having to sit and you had the crowd going, music going, all this, but also you had to look behind you because there were hockey players that sometimes would fire a puck up there, like it wouldn't be on purpose, but it would go off a crossbar. And next thing you know, you just hear. You're like, oh man, what the heck is happening?
It was like doing a news report out on the battlefield. I mean, you had to have the staff guard around you. You're walking through bullets going by, except for the bullets are pucks, and then you also got the fans, of course, who are actually completely focused on you talking instead of these guys who are going to come in here rowdy off of 18 holes and just chit chatting and having fun.
So I found out last Tuesday, as a matter of fact. No, it's actually last Wednesday. I found this out because I got a message about it that. Apparently, the Havoc Hour has become a tradition for some of the season ticket holders now. And not only do they go for the Havoc Hour, but also apparently they still go.
They're just meeting up there?
Every single Tuesday night at 6 o'clock.
Wow.
They still meet up there, even though we haven't done the show for 3 weeks.
Well, it's still brought to you by Stockton Mortgage. So
Absolutely.
don't get that wrong. But the one thing they're probably missing is you talking to the players. But I love that. I love that the fans are still getting together. Of course, the Havoc. We would like to see them continue to play throughout this time, but of course
we have Noah. That's what we're focused on. Noah Finstrom.
We're hoping that they can finish things off. They already got rid of the Ice Bears, or
the Ice Bears got rid of the Bulls.
The Bulls, so they took care of Pelham the way that every team should, and now we should have a very interesting. Was it a 6 versus 7?
It's a 6 versus 7. It is Knoxville and Evansville playing each other for the SPHL championship. First game is going to be on Wednesday. Second game is going to be on, I believe, Friday. And then if there's a third game, then it will be on Sunday.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to watch that all on Flow Sports.
It's all on Flow, absolutely. Yep. And that may be where you see Nico, depending on what kind of deals, anything when it comes to UCLA. Luckily, they're in the Big Ten, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but who's watching the Big Ten Network, Joe? I mean, it's all about the SEC Nation.
The Big Ten Network normally turns into like Fox, afternoon kick or noon kick or anything like that.
Yeah.
But what's really crazy is the report that is coming out right now, not only about UCLA and about Nico, but a quarterback that is transferring away from UCLA.
Surprise.
And one of the first teams that are going to contact him are the Tennessee Vols.
I was just throwing that out there as a guess, but yeah, Joey Aguilar, he is hopping back into the transfer portal after joining this UCLA squad from Appalachian State. He was supposed to be the starter, but then, of course, they might not have liked exactly what they had. They had an option to get a quarterback that's a 5-star, a former 5-star, and then you go out, grab him, come on.
Well, it was more about with Aguilar. It was more about, hey, look, we have an opportunity to bring in a guy that he played in the college football playoff last year.
Mm-hmm.
He is one that has experienced big time football.
Yeah, Arkansas.
And again, playing in front of 100,000 people, which he will play in front of at the Rose Bowl over the course of 3 separate weeks. And it will be one in which that he knows, what it's like to play in the big games, and he can learn this. Now, that's the whole idea of this. Aguilar had just transferred in from App State, where he had played for the last 2 seasons, and he had already thrown for over 500, or I should say maybe, I think it was like 5,300 yards passing is actually correction. I was way off. It was 6,700 yards passing.
I mean, that's pretty consistent. That's more than Nico did at Tennessee last year. But this is the Sun Belt we're talking about.
It is the Sun Belt.
You bring him to the Big Ten, he's going to get a little bit more of that big boy football that we know at that top 2 spot with the 2 conferences, of course.
So
SEC Big
he
Ten.
transfers in right after or right before Christmas. It was like December 23rd or something like that in 2024. And the moment that the Nico thing became official, he entered the transfer portal. Now, Chris Lowe is reporting right now that Tennessee is expected to be one of the teams that have a lot of interest in Joey Aguilar. And so it would be kind of comical if it basically turned into a trade of 1-for-1.
Wow, this is really feeling like the NFL now. I mean, you had to hold out, and now you have technically, well, it's not really a trade, but it's a player flip-flopping if it comes to play.
He's going to be cheaper.
And he's going to be a lot cheaper. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a budget deal right here. But, I mean, I feel like if anything, both of these teams save a little bit of money. UCLA, of course, probably losing out on it, spending a little bit more. Reports coming out around, I would say, it's right under $2 million, I believe. But Those are just reports. But for a quarterback like Joey Aguilar, I mean, you could see him, he'd probably be happy with $500K. If that's a lot, even for a quarterback out of the Sun Belt.
$500K in Tennessee goes a lot further than $500K in LA.
Yeah, those taxes will take you.
Yeah, in Tennessee, you don't have state income tax, so it kind of helps you out with that. So, those are some of the conversations with Aguilar is, could this be a swap one-on-one? It would be comical if these two teams basically do end up swapping quarterbacks, and how good Aguilar would be in the potential system. Because when you start talking about the Sun Belts, those are more of the type of offense that Josh Heupel did run at UCF, in the way that you were kind of watching him grow whenever he was coming up through the G5s, getting to the University of Tennessee. Yeah. So the whole idea of this is going to be just the speed in which the offense as you're going. I would actually be really curious when it comes to the App State offense about how close the App State offense is as compared to Tennessee and the offense that they kind of like to run a lot of times whenever they're going through the SEC play and stuff.
Another difference is, I know that Joey only had 2 seasons in his belt, but he's a senior. They were 2 full seasons. Of course, you talked about it, 6,000 plus yards altogether. That is over. I mean, that's a lot more than what Nico had in the SEC in his one season in the one game against Iowa, of course. But he had 2,930. So then it's to the point where experience over opponents. Because, of course, 1 season against SEC, 2 seasons against Sun Belt. Who's kind of going to hold that edge? Obviously, we think Nico, but who knows? Aguilar might be able to surprise a few people down in Knoxville.
Well, and there's a lot of times, like with Aguilar, that you start seeing these players come up and through. There's a reason why Aguilar is being looked at by teams like Tennessee right now. It's because his play has gotten better through his time at Appalachian State. What they're starting to see on film is showing that he's getting smarter with reading the defenses, not making as many errors on this, and starting to be able to be a better quarterback. Whereas somebody like Nico, it's only going to be dropping down. The only way Nico could have went up in his whole ordeal that he's wanting to go in, whatever we're wanting to call it in 2025.
The offense was a problem. That's what it was.
Would have been him going to an Ohio State, a Michigan, those types of teams. There's not that much ground for him to grow in there. But UCLA is a massive drop, even in the Big Ten. Like, if we're talking about them being in the Pac-12, it'd be bad. But now you see Aguilar, who goes from the Sun Belt to UCLA and potentially to Tennessee, all in the course of 3 months.
Talk about money to be made. I honestly, I'm all for it. And with the sparse group of quarterbacks that are currently in the transfer portal that are on a different level, I would even say Aguilar would be one of those pickups. And that's why Tennessee is looking at him right now to bring him in, because they need to fill out that room. At the end of the day, these teams are playing up to 17 games, Joe. I mean, this is a full NFL season minus the playoffs. They need depth, if anything. You need to have that backup quarterback that's going to be able to show up, and having one that's going to be able to be in a ready position. Instead, you're going to be with Tennessee right now. If they started, these are 2 guys without any college experience when it comes down to actually playing in football games all the way through and obviously getting their first wins.
When we come back, let's sit here and think about this when it comes to Jalen Milroe, because you talked about this a little bit during the Blitz. I'm still rolling my out. Yes, you did mention it. You tried to mention it more towards the very end, but then Brandon called. Yes, you did.
Huh. I don't remember that. I don't remember talking Jalen Milroe.
Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Yeah, look at that. Yeah. So when we come back, though, there are more and more comparisons coming out with Jalen Milroe. We are now, I mean, think about it. We are, 96 hours away from the first pick of the NFL draft with the Titans.
So excited.
Matter of fact, I was actually talking with Rhett Bryan just a little while ago about it. And so he and I were talking about what the Titans may or may not do at that first pick. And so we're sitting and thinking, what direction they're going, but there's also 31 other picks that are going to be made right after theirs. And this whole Jalen Milroe thing will not die. It will not die. As much as I want to roll my eyes at it, it continues to pop up. So 256-576-977. It works so much better when we're side by side, doesn't it? As we continue out here at Cherokee Ridge on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series arrives at the Talladega Super Speedway this week for the Jack Links 500. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, all 11-1 to win it. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, 12-1. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, 14-1 to win the NASCAR Cup race this week at the Talladega Super Speedway. Atlanta Braves, an $1.85 favorite against the St. Louis Cardinals at Truist Park today. The Braves dropped the Minnesota Twins 6-2 yesterday to complete a 3-game sweep of the Twins. Spencer Schwammenbach on the mound today for the Braves at $1.85 favorite. Eric Fedee for the Cardinals plus 154. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99 and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99 or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. If any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000, 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC, and here It just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps, but it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Expect to see scattered showers and a few thunderstorms for much of this Monday. High temperatures are expected to warm into the low 80s, potentially seeing wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Heading into Monday night, rain and a few thunderstorms continue, low temperatures falling into the low 60s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Live from Cherokee Ridge, Thom Abraham Show, featuring the Blitz, Joe Hunk, John Abraham, as we are getting closer to everybody wrapping up here at Cherokee Ridge, all for our Make-A-Wish event that we are doing, courtesy of the Eagle. We appreciate those guys all helping out with this, and we've got the prizes all over there on the table, getting ready to go for when everybody starts to make their way back in, as a couple of teams starting to get onto the last couple of holes.
Yeah, and they better hurry up because that rain's coming. I mean, you just showed me. I mean, we've been looking at it all day long. Steve is showing it to me. I was like, oh, it's coming slow, and then you showed me, and I was like, oh, that's getting close. And then you said whenever you head out here, you had the rain coming down already.
Yeah, I was when I was pulling out of the studio to make my way here. I was having to open up the windshield wipers to get the rain off as it was starting to fall in Huntsville. So, we're trying to get all of this in and get going here just a little bit. It's going to be a lot louder, which actually may play better into it. It's also funny because as we've been sitting here, we've talked about Nico and Joey Aguilar and this conversation between them. But the first thing that I get asked right when I walked into the place just a few seconds ago, or right when I was about to come in here to start the show, first person looked at me and said, so how was WrestleMania?
There you go. Yep.
Now, then Thom comes over and asks me about WrestleMania. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, see, this isn't just
let's be honest.
Trash people that are involved in this now, John.
That's same as NASCAR, all right, Joe? It's a huge demographic. It spreads out far, all the way up till to the north. And it's obviously for you, this is one of the biggest things that happened over the weekend was WrestleMania 41.
Oh, it was the biggest thing. Dude, I didn't even know Easter was this weekend, okay? I didn't even know this was the day that our Lord Jesus Christ had been crucified. I didn't even know because all I was thinking about was Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
Well, you know what? Jesus, he did rise and he did move the rock. But I rose too. But I didn't move the rock. That's the one thing he's got on me.
No, John Cena did it without a rock.
The savior of people.
It was amazing event. I think that you had a lot of good things. I think that we were so spoiled with what happened last year in that massive 3 minutes at the end of WrestleMania where you had The Undertaker, The Rock, John Cena, you had all the Bloodline, you had all the guys going against, it was all just this big old massive thing. And it kind of actually reminds me of the build up to WrestleMania 6, which was way before you were even born. I want to say it was 1990 if you look that up.
It's only 10 years before I was born.
Yeah, just 10 years before you were born. Whereas in the very next one, it was kind of it was okay, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're talking about an event with him where this was him setting the record of the most championships ever won. I mean, you don't have to be flashy. You don't have to be crazy because that is the number. The fact that you got 217 is a massive deal in that world. So I know it wasn't what a lot of people were wanting to see, but at the same time that I think that it happening and his entrance alone was absolutely tremendous because that man was getting booed out of the building And all he did was just,
I love it though.
all
He
wrestling
set
is
the stage for this whole this finale to it. I love it. I love
all of professional wrestling is, it's not all about the bright glitz and glamour, the crazy board videos, all this other stuff.
People getting slammed into barbed wire.
Well, even like with Stone Cold, when Stone Cold came out and before he hit the lady with the 4-wheeler, he was, he has all these pyros and all this stuff coming out, and John Cena literally walked out to a black screen with just his name on it. Like it was just,
That's cold, Joe.
Well, it was
That's
supposed to be.
cold.
It's supposed to be this whole "I'm not giving you all the things that you've wanted of me" type thing, as it was going. And I think that it was really kind of different. It's not, it's not a play the hits type thing. His press conference afterwards was absolutely hilarious in a way that the beat writers that were there that were asking him the questions, they start giggling about it, and he's just giving them this stone cold look on his face of like, I'm not really kidding. They asked him a question, and his answer was almost he went Marshawn Lynch. He went Marshawn Lynch.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I think that question is a clickbait question that you're just looking for answers for, and I'm not going to answer it. Next question. He answered that way every single time.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's like, all right, I'm giving you one more chance. And a guy from ESPN asked him a question. He's like, that is actually a clickbait question. I was expecting more from you since you're ESPN, but
he's putting us in bad light.
I'm going to be done. I'm done with this. And he just gets up and walks out. And I was like, dude, this is literally it. Like this is, he's basically, what he's being?
What's he being?
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to burp.
Yeah. It seemed like you're about to cry.
So beautiful.
Should just went with it.
No, it was so amazing to see. No, what he's basically doing is he's being towards everybody the way that I think a lot of people would love to act towards them, without the PC look on their face, that, the fakeness or anything like that. It's just looking at them being like, I don't want to really deal with your crap, and I'm not going to give you what you want.
Yeah.
And so those are the things. He also got hair plugs. He actually said that too.
Oh, he did. Was this a no ball patch?
Yeah, he did. He actually, and what he did is he's
transparent about it too.
The fans have bullied him about his bald spot enough that he went and got hair plugs.
Wow.
Hair plugs.
Well, that's being very transparent with the fans as well, that he's dogging on, he's hating, and that's mainly because, it's what they've done all of his career, even though he's been that good guy. I see it like it's Spider-Man 3. That's what I see the John Cena situation.
You know what? It's actually very much like Spider-Man 3, because even Tobey Maguire was really, really strange when he like, it wasn't like your normal, like, oh, this is funny, this is cute.
Oh, he's so dark.
It was like, this is weird.
It's cringy, but it's also entertaining.
But then at the same time, he walks into the press conference room and he has the belt in his hands, and he's just like, he takes Cody's plates off the side of it and just kind of just threw it away.
Nice.
And that was cool. But it was just a whole different thing on that. But no, it was awesome in that. So it was a cool event. There was a lot of amazing things on it. The women actually stole the show. All the women's matches were probably in the top 5.
Wow.
Of it. That's how good they were over the weekend.
That's good. That's what we want.
That's how good they were. But second hour, we're about to add Nashville into this, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the NFL draft as we continue from Cherokee Ridge here on the Thom Abraham Show and WCCN TV.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bono's Land.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. In the NBA playoffs, the Warriors win game 1 in Houston, beating the Rockets 95-85. Steph Curry with 31 points. Donovan Mitchell with 30 for the Cavaliers, who beat Miami 121-100. Stanley Cup playoffs, Vegas takes game 1 against the Wild 4-2. The Maple Leafs beat the Senators 6-2. Sunday Night Baseball, the Padres take the Astros 3-2. Fernando Tatis Jr. with the game-winning home run in the 7th. Eagles center Cam Jurgens gets a contract extension with the Super Bowl champs. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports it's a 4-year deal worth $68 million with $39 million guaranteed. At the 129th Boston Marathon, American Susanna Scaroni takes the women's wheelchair race. Coverage continuing right now on ESPN2.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
The lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. You're listening to another station I don't understand. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham. Give us a call, Steve. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. They go up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Yes, I'm on here. Am I on? Somebody respond.
Yes, we're here for the second hour, final hour, best hour. See, I get to say it now.
Yeah, you
That's
do.
exactly what
It's
it
the
is.
Thom Abraham edition
The
of
Thom
it.
Abraham edition of second hour, final hour, best hour, as we continue from Cherokee Ridge, as golfers about to come back into the clubhouse here in just a moment. And the rain is starting to get close, not just here, but also throughout the Thom Abraham broadcasting area in Huntsville, in Winchester, and now in Nashville. As you hop up, I've been showing John Abraham during the commercial break, all of the entrances from WrestleMania last night, and the one that he's looking at right now, which is now I can say Nashville native Drew McIntyre, as he lives in Nashville, making his entrance to WrestleMania last night as well. I was showing John the John Cena entrance with the all black, nothing special, just trying to be basically just trying to be a prick. Is really what he was trying to do.
It reminds me of Obey, that old thing where it's like Obey. It's so basic, but it's like that's exactly what it needs to be. That was the base of what everybody else does, except for everybody has the glitz and the glam, whereas John Cena is just like boom, like brand done. That's all we got.
No, and then that is that was last night. That was part of everything that happened. Obviously, over the weekend was obviously Easter as well. I totally forgot about it, and I feel bad about that because I was solely focused on WrestleMania the entire time.
It's funny because I was the opposite. I was actually all family, all Easter, all birthday, and then I was like, "Oh wait, WrestleMania is tonight."
Yeah.
Well, I'll just go to bed.
No, and I'm sitting here like I couldn't go to sleep. I'm just like I'm playing PlayStation just so I can keep watching, so I don't get tired.
Yep.
I'm watching everything. How night 1 ended with Paul Heyman, how night 2 ended with John Cena, and it was just like it was so incredibly fun to watch.
Yeah.
So that was my part. Also, obviously, tons of Easter stuff that took place. My kids did multiple trick-or-treating events as they were
trick-or-treating.
It was not trick-or-treating.
Easter egg hunt. Come on now, you gotta
egg hunting.
It's totally opposite.
It's opposite,
That's
but
the day of
same.
the devil. This is the day of the Christ rising up again. And I gotta admit, I had a wonderful time. You had a wonderful time with
I had
your
an amazing
family.
time.
But we did a nice little Easter egg hunt. On top of that, it was my birthday. I am 25 now, Joe. How does it feel now? I'm like an adult.
We didn't even talk about that. You still can't rent a car.
No, I can't.
We didn't
my frontal lobe, though, it's completely
Is it complete
intact
now?
I think that's the case.
Can you explain that for people that are? Yeah, I know, right? Brian, what does that mean when he says his frontal lobe is intact? Do you know what that means?
Supposedly your brain keeps developing until you're like 25. That's an average, though. That's an average.
Yeah, no, that
some
definitely
of us
did not
happen
happen
much
for me.
sooner. Some of us, God bless him, it never happens.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I still feel like a soft spot somewhere on my head. So maybe is that a part of it? I have no idea.
No.
But regardless, I think it is just my cognitive memory and like the way that I'm able to sympathize with people because I understand how the adult
that's
language
called a soft
is.
heart. That's not a soft head. That's a soft heart.
Okay, well, I got one of those too.
Well, no, it's bad because as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, again, I'm looking at we are now 7 days from being inside the first day 1 of the drop zone.
I'm so excited
of my wife giving birth, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself,
I thought you were about to say the draft.
No,
My
not the
bad.
draft. No, the
I was
draft's coming up
totally
actually
off.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
I am the one thing that worries me is the soft spot on the back of the head. That part always freaks me out because I'm like, I don't want to be the one that touches and something happens. But no, I mean,
Don't even talk about it.
I'm like that every single time with every single child that I've had born. Both of mine are like that. I was freaking out with the soft spot on the back of the head. But we are just about 4 days away from the NFL draft. You can hop in at 256-576-977 to talk about it, as well as a lot of people are starting to get those final mock drafts out. As we are now like hours away. In fact, it said whole late breaking information. We was like, so and so. Here's what we're hearing as we're all heading up to Green Bay for the NFL draft. And even Adam Schefter's, I've got his mock draft pulled up right now. And still, I think that especially in the city of Nashville, it's kind of been the moment that we all saw all arrows pointing towards one player in Cam Ward, that it kind of killed what are they going to do? Are they going to do this? Or are they going to do that? I thought for a period of time it was are you going to trade back? Are you not going to trade back? Are you going to take a defensive end? Are you going to take an offensive lineman? What are you going to do? But the moment that this all kind of got focused on Cam Ward, you kind of just saw it as this is accepted. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
Now what's happening behind that?
And that's the scary thing about it, because whenever you're just dead set on a pick, that's whenever I might see a little bit of a red flag. I've seen it with the Browns too many times, and obviously we're still waiting on the outcome of Bryce Young and his career. But I mean, so far it hasn't been great. He showed some talent, but so did Baker Mayfield. He didn't really pan out well for his first team. He did take him to the playoffs, but now he's finally reached his stride. And I think this is a part of the reason why we're seeing all these young quarterbacks fall into these starting positions right when they start out. And they might not start out great, but you might give them a few years of development. It might come into play. For Cam Ward, it's going to be something interesting to see. I don't think he needs that development as much as other quarterbacks that are getting talked about a lot more today than they were a week ago.
When I think with the Brian Callahan, part of it as well, it comes down to he doesn't have 2 or 3 years to kind of wait.
No.
And 2 or 3 years to try to, hey, let's continue to develop. We're almost there. We're getting close. Like, you want to get your pieces in place so that you can prove you are the coach for the next contract that you're looking for, because you're starting to get into that window of, all right, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? You start wanting to compare seasons from first season to second season to third season.
Yeah, he doesn't have
the growth of the team.
He doesn't have the Derrick Henry, let's say, that Vrabel had whenever he was
Derrick
there.
Henry also wasn't Derrick Henry whenever he got to the Titans. I mean, you still had DeMarco Murray in front of him, and it wasn't until a year or two into his season and his career that Derrick Henry started to become the Derrick Henry it is now. But phone lines are open to you at 256-576-4977. Let's continue on those phone lines. Head out, and Brandon, welcome into the Thom Abraham Show, man. How's it going?
Man, I was getting back to you about our baseball conversation earlier in the Joe 2.0 of the day.
Yes, and what's funny is we were talking with Steve Moulton about that right before we actually came back from break as well about it. And so for people that didn't hear the blitz as we were doing that, explain what happened. Was this in Alabama? Was this in Georgia? Where was this?
No, this was in Georgia, the local high school game here. It had got kind of chippy with the high school mouth running that is unique to high school and college sports, where you're hollering and chanting from the dugout.
Yes.
That you don't really see in Major League.
No, you don't. And trust me, I love that stuff. Like, I used to loathe it. I love all of the noise and everything now that can come with the baseball game.
Oh yeah, and that was kind of what had to go. And it was a contentious situation where there was a lot of stuff being said back and forth. I think one of the last ones, guy came up to bat and they were chanting "fat girlfriend." I mean, it had got a little animated. And dude just drills one, and that's the walk off. That's the ball game. He's running the bases till he gets to third. As he comes around third, he makes an L with his right hand as he's kind of crow hopping, somewhat walking, going past the visitor's dugout. Checks himself and then goes to the plate. And I'm picking stuff up, so my wife's like, "Oh my God, I'm missing this." I look up and it's happened, and they're having to separate people. This is for a region championship. And somehow, I don't know, nobody gets this on cell phone video. I don't know what the odds of that are.
Especially for a game winner. Like, it's a game winner. Like, how do you not get this on cell phone? Like,
in 2025.
Yeah, like, look, my nephew hit a game winner against Coleman High School back in like 2017, and everybody had it on video. Like, you were recording the entire thing. Like, I don't see how this isn't on video.
I think somebody on the opposing team has it, but it's not been shared. I'm waiting on it to come out.
Release it.
And
So it was just the regional championship. It wasn't even the state championship.
No,
he's got more baseball to play as well.
Well, one team does.
It's like y'all sub-regional. That y'all have in
okay.
Alabama. When you turn around and Virginia Tech and North Carolina get into it, both coaches get tossed, and they're tossing people out for flipping bats in a 10-6 game. And I'm thinking, we're ejecting people for flipping bats?
I thought we passed that.
I've almost got ejected for flipping a bat. No, it's umpires sometimes are kind of a stickler for that thing, and it trust me, I think it's annoying. I want bat flipping. I mean, I don't want obnoxious, like, you're throwing it over the fence type thing. I almost did that too. It was like, you don't want that. But
control yourself, Joe Hunk.
Oh, I was so angry. And it was, like, there are certain times where I think it is okay to have this and to have that. I think the taunting is fine. I think the chants are fine. I think the bat flips are fine. You're talking about a time where you're 17, 18-year-old kids that are playing in a state championship in a sport that honestly – they really try to handcuff you a lot with. I mean, there's a lot of times that these handcuffs are there where players aren't able to really showcase that personality without an umpire getting upset with them. And I'm all for it. Like, this is the type of stuff that improves the game. It's the equivalent of, throwing up the three and whenever you make a 3-pointer in a basketball game. It's that sort of stuff. Like, why are we wanting to get upset with these players for everything that happens?
Well, I mean, I was at a softball game recently where a girl hit a dinger, and she says that she was told that she did not go around the bases fast enough.
Fast enough?
Is there a pitch clock on that?
There's not a timer on that. Was she walking? Like was she over at the local mall with her New Balances on? Like, what the heck is she doing?
She may have side straddle hopped a little bit over second base. I guess a little bit, but that was a point of contention. And just to me, I don't have a lot of trouble with the kids having a personality, flipping a bat, doing all this kind of stuff. Just like when the chanting between dugouts turns into parents yelling at each other, that's when you know it's about to get real.
Yeah, I totally agree
Because
with that.
the kids in the dugout are getting under the other parent's skin. That's when I know we're about to have one. And I've noticed more and more of that lately is the adults getting butt hurt about the stuff that the kids are saying.
Well, and the adults need to understand that this is all part of the sport. Like, look, and that's where it goes is for me is, do you really think about how much is truly said in a football game? Like, really?
God, people have no.
But the difference there, Joe, and I was about to bring it up, is it's so scattered amongst players. And obviously you do have people pushing and shoving, and that's whenever the fights start. But this right here, if it's dugout to dugout, everybody kind of hears it. It's a lot more vocal. That's whenever you see the teams get a little bit more feisty with each other.
Well, and
in
I
baseball.
think like I'm sitting and thinking to myself, like, we have all of these players that are mic'd up now during games and everything. Like, we only get tiny little bitty bits of information and audio from these things. Think about how much these editors are having to cut because they can't use it because of some of the things that are being said. Like, kids are going to talk. It's part of the game. Again, I have good friends that was like 60% of their game plan whenever they were playing on the field or in a basketball court, where it was all about the trash talking. Look, if you can't handle the trash talking, then that's on you. And that's another reason for me to continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the other thing. Like, I know, again, we're at a golf course and golf is different and that sort of thing. But if you can't handle me trash talking you, then guess what I'm going to continue to do? Trash talk you. Brandon, I don't know whatever, you've seen parents saying all this. The whole idea is, try not to show them that, and don't let it get under their skin. Like, don't let it get under their skin and they'll stop doing it. Then there's the answer.
Aren't can we play through no golf course fights the best though?
Yeah, but I haven't seen one of those in a while. I mean, I don't know. I need to look and see who's if anybody's like within a shot of each other and around the same hole or anything like that, where they can kind of see what's going on in our golf tournament.
First place is right now, I think 18 under. I think second place is sitting at 16 under.
Okay,
so
it's getting close
but
on there.
Dicey.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, we continue to want to get upset about it, and the parents have to understand. Same thing that I always tell anybody, like whenever we go on the air, this is not personal. Like, this is all gamesmanship. Every single bit of it is gamesmanship. It is. In the moment the game is happening, it is all about one thing, and that's having the scoreboard have more points and or runs on your side than on the other team's side.
Oh, agree. Completely agree with you. I thought that was wild that it went that way this weekend, because I went to one set of games Friday night where the game ended involuntarily, where they invoked a rule that said that the other team scored so many points that they didn't think you could win, so they stopped it. And that was a two-sided event where the opposing team won. I think both games totaled like 26-4. There was not very much trash talk in that game. In two games.
I mean, it's like us, and it's like us whenever we talk about the Bulls and the Havoc, and we call them Pelham, and we do all this other stuff. Last week I couldn't make fun of them because they were in the semifinals and we're sitting at home.
But now they're not.
Now they're not. Now they're sitting at home. Back in Pelham. They're sitting back at home in Pelham. I mean, I couldn't make fun of them.
Well, I just want to throw that in there because when that happened, I looked at my wife. I said, "Joe Hunt is here right now."
Oh no, I would be high-fiving him for doing it, because again, technically he wasn't wrong, because whenever he threw the L up to the team that lost, he wasn't wrong because they did lose. And the other part is, and this is the best type of trash talking. If you trash talk it, especially afterwards, like after a game winner or something like that, how are they going to retaliate? Because they can't. You're not going to take a fastball to the ribs. You're not going to have the guy batting behind you get a ball thrown over his head. You're not going to have any of that stuff. Because, again, there have been times when I was on a field and I do something, especially after a home run, and I would step on home plate. I would look at the guy batting behind you, and I'm saying, if you get hit, I am sorry. I would apologize to him before he even stepped into the plate. Before he even got 1 foot in the box, I was apologizing.
Did you ever talk trash trying to get hit on purpose to get on base?
No, I did talk trash, though. I mean, look, I can't remember if I've ever told this story on air with Thom Abraham or not, but there was one time we were playing at high school, and this was back in high school, just to show you again, I'm a 17-year-old, 16-year-old kid, and we're playing, and I remember it was Randolph High School that we were playing, and I walked up to the plate, and look, it's my senior year. I had custom cleats, custom gloves, custom hats. Everything was custom, okay? It was my senior year. I was like, look, I'm going all out. So, with my last name being what it is, I had Hunk written on the side of my cleats, and the catcher was laughing at me when I stepped up to the plate. And so, I'm just looking back at him, and he was just making fun of the fact that I had Hunk written on my cleats, even though it's my last name. And even the home plate umpire was laughing about it. And so, like, the very first pitch his pitcher threw was a breaking ball almost in the dirt. I go down on one knee and I hit it directly over center field. And I right when I stepped on home plate, I looked at him and I said, "You laugh again, I'll put the next one further."
Such a Joe Hunk response.
Oh, I mean, trust me.
So
I mean,
Joe Hunk.
and that's what I did. I mean, seriously. And he didn't say another word the rest of the game. We also run ruled him. So it was
Nice.
like, I mean, again, the only time I talked trash, which talking trash was not part of my game, mainly because I was just somebody that I would focus more on the trash talking than I would on playing, and it would throw me off. So
Yeah.
the only time I ever talk trash is after I did something, because again, it would mess me up if I tried to do it beforehand.
Well, your trash talking might get scattered, whereas mine was, I was a wide receiver, cornerback right in front of me. Oh, the conversations that we had mid-snap were, they're not safe for work. Let's just say that.
Gentlemen, let me know how Jake from Athens does. He's going to pick him and his team to win today. And are we doing the Mulligan division where we divide the scores by 3 to see what they really shot?
Brandon, I wish I could give you an answer. Thanks for that phone call, Bill. I wish I could give you an answer because I have no answer to that question whatsoever.
Let me see.
You continue to look it up. We'll find that out. We continue as we are here live, as everybody's starting to come in off the golf course right now here at Cherokee Ridge. We're going to continue that. We still have more of your phone calls. And again, the final mock drafts are starting to come out. And yes, Cam Ward is basically the unanimous number one, according to almost every single mock draft that has come out so far on this Monday afternoon. We'll continue. Phone lines are open to you, 256-576-977 here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series arrives at the Talladega Super Speedway this week for the Jack Blinks 500. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, all 11-1 to win it. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, 12-1. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, 14-1 to win the NASCAR Cup race this week at the Talladega Super Speedway. Atlanta Braves, $1.85 favorite against the St. Louis Cardinals at Truist Park today. The Braves dropped the Minnesota Twins 6-2 yesterday to complete a 3-game sweep of the Twins. Spencer Schwalmenbach on the mound today for the Braves at $1.85 favorite. Eric Fedee for the Cardinals plus 154. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Rain and a few thunderstorms for the rest of this Monday night. Low temperatures going to be falling into the lower 60s. Heading into our Tuesday, rain and a few thunderstorms remain in the forecast. About an 80% chance of rain. High temperatures warming into the mid-70s for the afternoon. We'll keep rain in the forecast through at least Tuesday night. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Thom Abraham Show as we continue along for the next 35 minutes in Huntsville.
Hey, Rab.
Well, in Arab, but we're on in Huntsville. We're on in Winchester.
We're worldwide, baby. We're worldwide.
In Nashville and worldwide, as you just heard, Brian.
People in Poland listen to us. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, we were really popular in Poland. We appreciate that.
They really do.
Yeah.
Also, Clubhouse starting to fill up a little bit more. Guys getting Bubby's Diner right now.
I'm huge.
Amazing. Smells wonderful. Brian, we'll make sure we bring back some for you, if not all, as well
Appreciate you, brother.
Some brewskis that might be left over. I know after an event like this, takes months to set up. it's good to kick back and have a brewski while it storms out, which it's held out long enough, Joe.
It is.
It's sprinkling a little bit, but
it is starting to rain as the line is starting to slowly make its way through. It's not going to stop anything with the draft coming up on Thursday, which obviously we're going to be talking a lot about as we continue here on the Thom Abraham Show. Phone lines are open to you at 256-576-977. A lot of tidbits that are starting to kind of flow. It's hey, this guy is going to meet here. Hey, this team is looking at this one. This one's talked about. There's two interesting ones because as the mock drafts are starting to come out, obviously a lot of people, especially in Nashville and our Titans fans, are focusing on the fact that Cam Ward is kind of the unanimous person that everybody sees the Titans taking at number 1 on Thursday night. But then you start wondering about what's going to be happening after that. Now, some of the things that have been talked about is obviously going to be one quarterback in particular, that being Kirk Cousins. So there's some news coming out about him and some interest by particular teams throughout that are going to be picking higher in the draft. And we'll have that for you just a second. But also in January, as part of December as well, running back Cam Skattebo became extremely popular because of how he played for Arizona State. And obviously he is in the NFL draft. And what the NFL does for a lot of people that don't know is obviously they have this thing called the top 30 visits. Now, top 30 visits are the 30 players that you can bring in to have conversations with at your facility that is outside of a certain radius. So teams can actually have more than 30 come in. It's just the 30 that are outside of your, let's just say, 60-mile radius is what it is. So if you're talking about the Titans, then, players that are in Lexington or Louisville, they would not be, or they would be included in the 30. But if somebody from Clarksville would not be, or somebody from Winchester may not be, because they might be inside the 60-mile radius of what we're talking about, it won't count against your 30. But as far as Skattebo is concerned, he is being looked at, and he's already visited with the Arizona Cardinals, the Browns, and the Giants. He's got 2 more top 30 visits that are scheduled this week before the NFL draft. One with the Detroit Lions, the other with the Tennessee Titans.
That's interesting. The Titans obviously getting a re-up running back. I mean, they got obviously Tajay Spears, who I think he's going to be the guy that takes it further into the future. But the Browns, obviously Nick Chubb getting to the end of his career. I think that, well, hopefully not, but I see his trajectory kind of going that way. If they bring in Skattebo, it's an even bigger running back. This kid's also only 23 years old. I mean, then you're kind of reeing up in that position. For the Giants, obviously they're looking for their next Saquon Barkley that they don't have to pay as much. And for the Cardinals, they got a few guys, but
the Giants did have a guy.
Did they have a guy?
They used to have a guy. The Giants did.
I said that. They just don't want to pay him the same amount of money.
But I'm just looking at this as far as, first off, I never see the Cardinals as a team that ever makes a really good decision. I know they have Marvin Harrison Jr. He did play extremely well last season.
Someone bright.
Still trying to figure out who's going to be throwing him the football at times because Kyler Murray can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
The Giants are just an absolute train wreck in it. The thing about Skattebo is that, especially from the Titans' perspective, does come down to, look, he's involved, but at the same time, you still have Tony Pollard as well as Spears, and Pollard is going to be there at least through 2026.
Yeah.
So you still have 2 more seasons of him. So would you want to waste a draft pick on a position that you have 2 guys that are very valuable in it? I think it was really more just of a, hey, if he's here in the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe we would consider it type of situation.
And I don't know if we're going to see him go past the 3rd round. I mean, 3rd round, I think, is where he will fall. If he goes any higher than that, I'll be surprised. If he goes any lower than that, I wouldn't be too surprised, but it would open up the door for a team like the Titans to be like, hey, he's still there. We've already got our other guys in here, maybe a wide receiver or 2, hopefully. And now let's just snag this running back. He had his flashes, of course, in the bowl season. And this is a kid that still has a lot of growing to do. And he's still just in college.
Well, and I think that Skattebo right now, according to the final mock drafts on ESPN, they have him going in the 4th round to the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's just looking at where his trajectory lies as far as that is concerned. But The other part of this as well was the Kirk Cousins thing that we talked about, because at this point in time, you're seeing a lot of teams that are starting to get phone calls. Okay. And what's happening right now, especially over the course of the next 4 days, is teams are starting to set their board where they know here's the deal that we might have in place if X, Y, and Z were to fall into the right place, and we are here for that. So what teams are really doing is saying, hey, give us your final list of guys that you would be willing to trade from or trade with, and who might be somebody that you're looking for getting at this point and in that sort of scenario. So really it's just a lot of conversation about a lot of things that I think that the Kirk Cousins aspect of this may play a role throughout the NFL draft as one of those final cards. If a team like the Falcons are wanting to potentially trade up or trade away a player like Kirk Cousins, the conversation is coming out that there are multiple teams that have reached out about Kirk Cousins. One of those being the Minnesota Vikings that he just came from.
Uno reverse card right there. And why
is everybody wanting to go back? Like Aguilar is thinking about going back to the place where Nico once was.
Sometimes the grass on the other side is not as green. All right. And for Kirk Cousins, he's coming off of a team and obviously an injury that honestly is going to push him back a few years. And when you look at the talent that the Falcons have compared to the talent that the Minnesota Vikings have, you look at just the two guys that the Vikings have, and it already kind of equals the 4 or 5 guys we might see from the Falcons. And I hate to say it, but again, Kyle Pitts, if he was playing a little bit better, he would have made up for that fact. I love Darnell Mooney. I think he's great. I guess Thom is still on the Falcons, right? Was he ever on he was on the Falcons. He got injured early, didn't he? Steve's sitting right next to us now, so
right beside us. Yeah,
he's really testing my my Atlanta knowledge.
No, this isn't a Titans.
Oh, we haven't gotten on.
We haven't even gotten to that conversation just yet with it. But it's the fact that Kirk Cousins, and the fact that a lot of people, because it's a $20 million cap hit, is what it's saying. So a lot of teams are saying, look, if you're willing to take half that off of us, as in you take up 10, we'll take 10, then okay, we can possibly make this deal happen. The other team that's being talked about a lot is Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh.
That's where Mason Rudolph just went back to, speaking of quarterbacks going back to their old place and going back somewhere else. They also have Skylar Thompson, which I don't know if Skylar Thompson has taken 50 real snaps in an NFL football game.
I think he actually started one game for the Dolphins. Yeah, because Tua was his starting quarterback.
Is it one of Tua's injury games?
Yeah. That's kind of how it went with Skylar Thompson. He's never really showed out too well when it comes to the preseason. He's kind of just been that. He's a solid third
He's only
string.
taken 81 snaps, John. I jokingly said 50. He's only taken 81 snaps as a quarterback.
I said that it was more. That's around how many you would take for a game if you're on a really bad offense, which is the Dolphins without Tua. So there you go.
So the Steelers are part of the conversation.
They definitely need the help. Let's just say.
And if you're Kirk Cousins, I would actually consider going to the Steelers over going to Minnesota in this aspect. You're getting DK Metcalf, George Pickens, if he's happy, is going to be one that you're going to be having there as well. You have
a Fight Club in the locker room.
That may be, which may actually look. If you see Kirk Cousins out of the locker room, like that man, I mean, he's got the chains, he's got the swag. He may have a little bit of fun with it.
Fall right in there. Why is John still here? That's what I'm asking. Regardless,
anyways,
I don't know if it would be the best thing for Kirk Cousins to do. I don't think it'd be the best thing for the Steelers.
Would you pick Pittsburgh or Minnesota if you're going between those two teams that the Falcons could trade with?
Depends on who they want to trade. I just see if Kirk Cousins goes to the Steelers, who's he going to help develop? It is going to be a similar scenario to where Russell Wilson was, except for this is a guy that's even older than Russell Wilson. I guess Russell Wilson doesn't seem like he's an older fellow.
But looking at that Vikings team, though, between Addison, Jefferson, Aaron Jones, Mr. 40 years old, still playing in the NFL.
He's good, though.
I mean, he's 40 years in NFL years. He's actually like 30. Mm-hmm. But
good out of the backfield as well.
You have Hawkinson as your okay, maybe I
a talented team.
I may consider the Vikings.
And whenever he was on the Vikings, they saw results. That's what I look at. When you look at the Steelers, though, yes, they added the George Pickett or the DK Metcalf. But when you add DK Metcalf, you kind of need a guy to throw it to him. All right, and that's one thing where the Vikings have the good talent. They also have the decent talent. You can't have a full board of great talent at that top. And right now we're looking at George Pickens and DK Metcalf. I think they're going to be fighting for possessions. And honestly, I think Kirk Cousins is going to be fighting for his life. I think he needs to get out of Atlanta. I think he needs to go to the Vikings, if anything, because right now this is just a bad thing that the Falcons did with picking him up, which stinks because I like him.
Well, no, and I think that everybody kind of likes him as a person, but it's different between liking him as a person and being able to like him as the actual quarterback of your team.
I
Because
liked
you have
him
Michael
at the
Penix Jr.
Vikings. I liked him at the Vikings. I like the thought of Michael Penix Jr. succeeding.
He's just never going to be the sexiest man in the room.
No.
Like, he's just never going to be. He's just never. I mean, seriously, every single place he goes to, it's like, all right, so we've got Kirk over here, but this guy, RG3, like, you can continue to go back and look at everywhere he's been. It's like, he's here.
I mean,
but
come
we got
on.
Michael Penix Jr.
We were looking at him on the Vikings. Kellen Mond wasn't the sexiest pick. All right, that was not the sexier guy.
Dude, they got rid of Kurt. They not brought Kurt back because they wanted like another quarterback, and they bring JJ McCarthy.
They do bring it, but that took a few years to happen. Obviously, he outlasted his sexiness, and then they were like, JJ McCarthy's that new dude. We're gonna have him develop. Obviously, that didn't work out because they ended up trading him to the Falcons. But whenever it came to the Falcons, I mean, he had this team, and he had them at one point after the 3 or 4 games that he was able to kind of get in the flow of things with them. But then he wasn't able to be consistent. After week 4 or week 5 or week 6, week 7, that's whenever it started going to hill. They needed results because they still had a chance at the playoffs.
All right, so then let me ask you this question, because you know that the first pick of the draft for the Titans, at least we're assuming, is going to be Cam Ward.
Yeah.
All right, so the only reason that the Titans would potentially trade for Kirk Cousins would be if they're trading the first overall pick. So that's the way that you sit and you wonder to yourself, which one do you take? How's it going, sir?
Kirk Cousins would be a worse Ryan Tannehill at this point.
Tannehill wasn't bad.
Tannehill was good. No, he outlasted his time there.
Well, he hit a point in time where mentally something happened, and that something being the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah,
and something
couldn't get
happened,
over the hump.
and he was never able to get past that.
Yeah.
But there's no way that you sign or draft Cam Ward, turn around, trade for Cousins, and then send Will Levis?
Will Levis is the guy that's being talked about right now. He's the guy that's being talked about. You have to take that first pick. You have to use that one to get that quarterback. You're not going to find it anywhere else in the NFL. They want to develop a new guy. And Cam Ward solidified himself as that guy from what we've seen. You move forward, though, with the draft. You see that second pick. You see that third pick. You're possibly able to bring in somebody who's going to help develop him. And I think that you make a good point. I think Kirk Cousins would be a good developmental piece. He did it a little bit with Michael Penix. Michael Penix kind of transitioned perfectly in there, but I think we might be seeing some other teams making those picks, and the Steelers still need a quarterback, so it could be a trade with Steelers to maybe bring in Will Levis.
Well, and the other part for the Falcons is that they're sitting at 15. It's not like they have a sexy draft spot that you can look at, and if you're the Titans and go, you know what, we're okay dropping back 2, 3, 4, 17 spots. Like, you're not going to want to do that. No. Like, you drop down to 15, you're now starting to think about your number 1 linebackers, or you're thinking about your number 1 wide receivers or something like that you're wanting to add. You're not going to be adding in, you're not going to get the number 1 offensive lineman there. You're not going to get the number 1 defensive lineman there, or defensive end with Abdul Carter. So now it's almost idiotic to think about the Titans possibly wanting to trade back all the way to 15.
They ain't getting rid of that first pick. I can assure you that. Now, would I see the Browns maybe doing it? They get a little extra help on. I would, but I wouldn't see the Titans getting rid of that.
This deal makes more sense for the Browns than what it would be for the Titans.
Yeah. You could bring in Kirk Cousins. I mean, why not?
Well, I mean, all you're looking for is something that is a consistent quarterback presence in your locker room. Like, that's all it is.
I mean, it might not be Kirk Cousins, honestly. I wouldn't utilize my second-round pick to get a Kirk Cousins.
I mean, your number 2 overall pick, not your second round.
Yes, my number 2. I wouldn't use any of the first round to get Kirk Cousins on my team.
Is there a trade that teams in front of the Falcons would be truly considering making that deal for it. If you're looking at the top 10, think about it when we come back. 256-576-977. Thank you, Brian. See?
Double four.
I'm a little late, but I'm there.
It is the fourth quarter.
It's the fourth quarter. The four horsemen of the apocalypse are upon us as the awards are starting to be given out. We'll continue on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deal store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Expect to see scattered showers and a few thunderstorms for much of this Monday. High temperatures are expected to warm into the low 80s, potentially seeing wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Heading into Monday night, rain and a few thunderstorms continue. Low temperatures falling into the low 60s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that never worked.
Wrapping up the Thom Abraham Show on this Monday. We'll be back tomorrow. John, you and I will be back at 9 a.m.
Yeah, we will. I'd like to appreciate, give some love to Summer. She's been helping out a lot.
Glad you called her Summer.
Yeah. Not the old lady here.
God,
she's a part of it. She's a part of it.
Cringe.
She's got the pictures for all of the golfers that have come out today, all of the great friends that have come out today and play 18 holes. So they got through it pretty quick. I think it was just 4.5 hours. And now they're all sitting here, eating, chatting, having a wonderful time here at the
John, I gotta
2025
tell you,
Eagle
you're punching
Installation
above your weight.
See,
WZZN Charity Golf Class.
Yeah, Brian, who's back in the studio, he got to hang out with John and Summer as they were getting all the stuff for the golf tournament. Yeah, the refreshments, all the stuff for this, and that was the first thing Brian says. Like, yep, John's swinging up. He is swinging up on
Punching
this.
above his weight, man.
Yep, way above it. So,
She's good.
yeah,
She's a good one.
so
yeah.
you didn't want to change the nickname, man. Is all I'm saying.
Come on now.
No,
Come on
change the
now.
nickname.
Either way, I appreciate her. She did a wonderful job. So for everybody who's out here today, and everybody who has loved ones who are out here today, sound like these guys just went to war. Some of them did actually. The guys sitting right in front of us. You are going to be able to see those pictures on our website, on our Facebook, and you'll be able to save them and share them wherever you want.
Do you ever, by the way, as I'm looking around here, ever find like a shirt that you like and you get like six of them in different shades?
That one right there. It's the camouflage, which, by the way, I didn't get to take off. I'm wearing the camouflage ESPN, double logoed up.
Yeah.
He's got the camouflage Crimson Tide shirt. It just is tied on it. It looks really nice.
So the T-shirt that I have on right now is a True Classic, is what it's called.
Oh yeah,
it's True Classic, and so they sell them in like these packs. Like you can just get a black T-shirt, a blue T-shirt, whatever it is. But I bought like the pack that has like 15 different shades in it. So I've got it like in red and black and gray and different gray and off white and white and two different kinds of black. I've got all of those. So that's the reason why I'm wearing them so much. And but I say that because I also do it with hats. A lot of times where I'm sitting and I look and I see that Major League Baseball and Minor League Baseball have all just announced what the 2025 Armed Forces Day hat is going to look like.
Speak of the devil. And
exactly. See, you were getting into this without even knowing it. And the Braves have released theirs. The Rocket City Trash Pandas have released theirs. The Nashville Sounds have released theirs. And it's all the same design. It's like a Desert Storm design that they all have. But it's bad because I like the hat for all these different teams that I'm looking here thinking to myself, I feel like I'm about to buy this hat in like 3 different teams.
And it's just a bunch of different like letters. That's what it is.
That's all it is.
Because you're looking at the Nashville Sounds. And then you're going to look at the Trash Pandas will have a different one.
It'll look exactly like this, but it'll just have the Trash Pan logo on it.
Yeah, but then
the Braves is just the A minus the mullet. It's just the A.
We'll go down the list of all the different teams that you can get. Obviously the LA for
and that's
Dodgers.
What they do is it's the exact same way around minor league baseball and Major League Baseball. So everybody's it's the same way with an NY. I mean, it's the same hat. It's the exact same hat. All they did was they just said, "Oh, let's delete this and let's insert that." It's the same design, same color, everything. But I just like the hat that I'm going to get it in like 3 or 4 different teams so that I can wear them all the time.
Well, and then the Boston Red Sox, the B,
the B, and then the Chicago Cubs C. Like I'm about to spend $400 on the same hat 16 different times.
So these are the ones that they're going to wear on the field, right?
On Armed Forces Day,
Okay.
yes.
So yeah, and I always love, obviously, a little bit of a change up. I'm a huge uni guy, all right?
Yeah.
But whenever it comes to teams that have that tradition, the Yankees, they don't even have a city connect, so they're rocking with the same things every single day. It's either going to be their away or their home pinstripes. Seeing the camo hat, I feel like obviously there's going to be some people that are going to be annoyed with it just because it's something different, but at the same time, they can't be annoyed with the Armed Forces Day because it's obviously representing our nation's warriors. So.
Well, and I think that it's a really cool thing that baseball does. That I am a firm believer. Like, look, I don't want to wear, like, I have a bunch of team hats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we went through this like 25, 26 different MLB
You wear
hats.
a lot of hats, Joe.
I do wear a lot of hats. I wore even more today.
Yeah.
And so you have all these different hats, but at the same time, like I have a Titans hat and I have like 15 Titans hats, and I have them for like, if I ever want to go vintage. I have it for if I'm ever just wanting to leave the house and I got dry fit on. But then I also have one that's like, look, man, I just want to throw on a black t-shirt and I want a black hat to go with it. Let me just grab my black Titans hat. It's kind of the same way with this one. It's like, all right, well, I want to match this up with whatever I'm rocking. And so this is what I'm going to be doing. And this is the reason why I do this.
I do that with the hockey sweaters. I love me a good hockey sweater. And whenever it was 2 years ago, whenever they had the All-Star game down in Miami, those ones right there, all the same, just slightly different colors. Those were the sweaters that I would want to get that look exactly the same, just slightly different fonts.
I will 1,000% say that I can confirm that I have never seen a Major League Baseball All-Star jersey being worn outside of the All-Star game, but I have seen numerous NHL All-Star jerseys. Everywhere.
No doubt.
Everywhere.
They're a little bit more iconic, I will say.
I mean, they are so much more fun to watch. I mean, and to sell.
And
to look at.
You've been to SEC Media Days. That's around the time whenever they have the All-Star game. It's going to be the same way this year in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, it's going to be at the same time.
And you know what you're not going to see? All-Star uniforms.
No, they're not going to wear All-Star uniforms.
Nobody's going to be rocking the All-Star uniforms out and about in town. Especially from last year, those ones were horrendous. I mean, it just seems like it's been miss. They've struck out so many times. You're surprised they keep doing it. But this year, aren't they doing it a little bit different?
Well, this year they're actually going to allow the players to wear their normal uniforms on the field like they have been in the past because so many fans were upset with them going towards the same uniforms. And honestly, that's part of the reason, like on MLB The Show, it annoys me and I never play the All-Star game because every single time they put the generic All-Star jerseys on and I'm like, dude, I don't want this. Then I get my Japanese baseball game, and what do? They have all the players wearing their team uniforms. I'm like, this looks amazing.
This is what you want.
This looks awesome compared to the other stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old NBA games where they didn't have any All-Star uniforms. It was just their uniform from the teams back on the N64. And I know you probably dabble a little bit into that, but that right there, it just looks authentic and it looks so nice. So.
I know that we have about 3 days left before we get into before the NFL draft's taking place. Obviously, with Titans fans are focused on the Cam Ward thing, but there are now several coaches and scouts that are wanting to compare Jalen Milroe to Lamar Jackson, if not in front of Lamar Jackson, when it comes to his ability to run the football at the quarterback position. I emphasize his ability to run the football from the quarterback position.
Too bad he can't just do that. If he's a quarterback in the NFL, he's going to need to learn decision-making, passing, and I don't know if I can really compare him to Lamar. I think that Lamar came into the NFL and he was already kind of ready. He needed some work, and that's what we saw. He wasn't good at passing the ball, but he worked towards it. He was able to adjust.
Can
I don't
you slide
know about
like
Lamar.
a foot to your left? Can you just do that? No,
left. Foot.
Left.
Get away.
Dude, remember the guy that in the baseball stadium, the L is that way. That's how you know L and R. That's what I teach my
the last
6-year-old.
5 days, I don't know why my lefts and rights have been thrown off.
Now, reason I said that is because I don't want you to see my computer monitor when I look this up, okay? But can you tell me right now, according to Adam Schefter, the very final spot that he is saying for one of his very final mock draft this week that he says where he believes Jalen Milroe is going to be drafted?
He's drafted second round, second pick. Cleveland Browns pick him up. Bang.
You already looked at my computer, didn't you?
No, I actually heard about that over the weekend. I was like, okay, so you're gonna get a quarterback in the second round in Lamar Jackson. So you're gonna get a running back or a wide receiver in the second round.
Final NFL mock drafts for ESPN have Jalen Milroe going in the second round to the Cleveland Browns.
As long as we don't draft a quarterback in the first round, I think we'll be fine.
Well, it's all right because apparently you're not going to draft a quarterback in the second round.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I still think he could be a good quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He's the next Michael Vick.
Does he have to make a second decision?
Nick Chubb.
No,
That'll be his second decision.
No. Like, as in he drops back and Chubb's out there somewhere. There's a Chubb on the field. Can Milroe make a decision?
If it's a dump off, I think he'll be able to chuck it down the field. Maybe. I'm trying to think. Jerry Judy's quick, but he's more of a middle wide receiver. You got to throw it to him like 20 yards down the field.
If he goes to the Browns, again, I've said this and I will continue to say, if he goes to the Browns, he will never lead that team to the playoffs and he will never win a championship. I can't say he's not going to start because, look, man, the Titans even had like Josh Dobbs signed on like a Wednesday and he started the very next day. Okay, so I can't say he's never going to start an NFL game.
I love how you expect any quarterback to win a playoff game with the Browns. Who do you think?
Baker did it.
No, Baker is different.
Baker did it.
He's a Heisman Trophy winner.
So's Lamar Jackson. Jalen Milroe's not.
No, he's not. See, exactly.
Deshaun Watson was.
Johnny Manziel was.
Johnny Manziel was.
He didn't do nothing except for flick a guy off in the preseason.
All right, that's going to do it for John and myself. Tom's going to be back tomorrow at noon as we are wrapping everything up here at Cherokee Ridge. You have a fantastic day. Brian, thank you so much for helping out.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you so much. The beverages are being consumed right now that you purchased, so be excited about that. We're wrapping it up from Cherokee Ridge. Y'all have a great day. We will see you tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. with the Blitz and then noon with the Thom Abraham Show. You have a fantastic day. We are done. See you later. Bye-bye.
Time to eat some food.
Oh, please.
Bubby
Thank
Steiner,
you.
baby.
We're out.
This is Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. In the NBA playoffs, the Warriors win game 1 in Houston, beating the Rockets 95-85. Steph Curry with 31